chemicals the EPA has classified as likely carcinogens and chemicals used to sterilize medical equipment, to make rubber, vinyl, and other plastic products. These chemical plants are mostly found in Texas, Louisiana, along the Gulf Coast, the Ohio River Valley, and West Virginia, and are most often concentrated in Black communities. Patrice Tomcik is a national field director at Moms Clean Air Force. It's a group of more than 1 million parents that work on environmental issues like this. Patrice, it's good to have you. What is the immediate impact of this decision?
Yeah, thank you for having me today. And this rulemaking is really historic, and generations of people living near these petrochemical facilities have suffered from exposure to toxic air pollution for generations and for a very long time, and they're really paying with it for their health. So, like you had said, this rule is expected to reduce a lifetime of cancer risk related to these air pollutants, and it will also help in regards to ground level ozone and to help protect people from these pollutants also.
There are places in Louisiana like Cancer Alley that are dense with chemical plants that may be emitting these toxic chemicals, and the exposure can impact families for generations, as you said. How exactly does this happen, and why has it taken decades to correct it?
Yes, it's happened. This has been going on for far too long, and it's time that the chemical and the petrochemical industry is taking accountability for this and cleaning up the pollution that is really harming the people that are living there. So this has been a long time of environmental racism, where the areas along the Mississippi River in Louisiana have been targeted for these petrochemical facilities, and also along the Gulf of Texas. And so these facilities have been building out there. And so this is a time whenever we are ready to hold these polluters accountable. And that's what we are celebrating today with this historic passing of this rule that will help protect families in these communities.
This is a topic that is close to you, something that impacts you personally. Could you tell us more about your experience?
Sure. I live in the Ohio River Valley region, and so I live in southwestern Pennsylvania. And as a mother of a child who has survived cancer, I have made it my life's mission to protect children. And when my son was sick, I tried to make his home and his life as healthy as possible with foods and things I could control. But the reality is I can't control the air my son breathes. And for this, I have to rely on our elected officials and agencies like the EPA to protect him. And all children are uniquely vulnerable to toxic air pollution because their bodies are still developing. And we have so many chemical and manufacturing facilities in my tri-state area of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. And these pollutants really need to be reined in. So my activism actually really started when the oil and gas industry wanted to frack wells half a mile from my schools, my children's schools. And this fracked gas was going to be used in a petrochemical plant that is located nearby. And so this is really where my activism has started.
And we have the dog there with you wanting to join in on this. Before we let you go, Patrice, with the last, that's okay. With the last 30 seconds we have left, we heard you talking about how this rulemaking is a good thing, but does it go far enough? And if not, what more needs to be done with the last 30 seconds we have?
We need far more facilities covered, and we need a lot of enforcement of these rules. And so these are the things that we will be holding our electeds and the EPA accountable for. So we're going to be asking for more because there's so many more facilities, more families that are being impacted, and it is way past time to hold these polluters accountable.
Patrice Tomcik, National Field Director at Moms Clean Air Force. Patrice, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.